Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to our town hall. I'm Jim Whaley, CEO of Mission Roll Call, and my team has abandoned me for this call. They're traveling and taking much needed vacations and leave and things like that and just enjoying themselves. So I have you all to myself to talk about some things that we have going on here and to share with you some of the things that we're working on and that we're hearing from you about. Of course, one of them is, and let me not forget, I have a special guest coming up here. So stand by. They're going to join us later in the discussion here, but I think you'll love our special guest today to talk about an important subject about transitions and finding your place and your purpose in life, all of those things that we've struggled with at some point in our lives. But a couple of things I want to touch base with all of you today. One is our survey is up. So as you know, we've had a survey that has really shaped the thought process of decision makers and other veteran support organizations. And that is surrounding the Take Care of American Veterans Act. Please take that survey. Very important. Share it with others, share it with family members. It's important that we gather this information on this important subject and share it with others. It's also nice to compare it to the other survey and see the growth as so many thousands of folks are taking the survey and sharing it with others. Very, very important. And our next call, town hall, is going to be September 9th. So please mark your calendars with that. We're going to cover some good subjects there. The challenge with our town halls is really, we could do these once a week, almost every other day, because there's so many things to talk about. And there's so many things that we're covering in the veteran community and with their families and dependents and all of that. It really is important that we share these things. So our next town hall, September 9th, please share it and mark your calendars with it because we'd love to have you there. Love to hear what you have to say. Another thing is we still have some limited T-shirts available. Let me tell you, these T-shirts have been very popular and they're very cool. They tell a story. They fit well. They're great to work out in. They fit nice. And I think you'd find them a great gift. You know, I know we're in August, but before you know it, well, I don't know about any of you on the call, but I'll be waiting to the last minute for holiday gifts and things like that. Get it now because it'll be out by the holidays for sure. Great gift. Send it to a buddy, send it to a loved one, buy a couple for yourself. Just a very, very cool shirt. So please take advantage of that. The other thing that I spent a little time this afternoon or this morning looking at is some of the story. I like to start out the morning with some positive energy. I think most of us like to do that. Of course, that almost takes away reading the newspaper at this point. But there's some positive, just great energy stories on our website. And these stories cover any number of important subjects. One of them I read with Ernest was, what I wish I knew before I transitioned. And there's a couple, I think there's 4 or 5 great stories on there that you could take a look at. But these stories, I think, really resonate because, for one, it shows that you're not the only person having some challenges or maybe success. And you want to share it with some other people. But all of those stories are well written and tell a great story. And I think you leave wanting a little bit more. And we have so much great stories on our website. I would urge you to, when you see it, forward it to somebody, have them share it. It's just a great way of letting somebody know you're thinking about them. I've been trying to be better about when I think about somebody is to actually reach out to them. Because I just think it's a little signal that you need to reach out to that person, if not for your own feel good about yourself, but who doesn't want to get a call from an old friend or somebody you've served with or somebody like that, even if it's been a long time. And as long as you don't keep counting who's going back and forth, then you'll be fine. So it's okay if you're always the one that reaches out, because you never know what somebody's got going on. So reach out to them and take a look at that. The other thing on our website, and I hope we can post this or show it as we're talking, is our honor roll. This is a great opportunity to go in there, find an old picture of a grandfather or an uncle or a mom or a dad. And it doesn't have to be in uniform, doesn't have to be like the full portrait thing. Here you see a couple of them right there. Just fun ways to honor people that have served. And I just think it's a wonderful way to share that, to make tribute to them about their service. And as you know, sometimes people are very humble, very quiet about their service, and they don't say anything about it. But I think it's just good to put it up there for posterity, because it's not going anywhere. This is going to be digitally archived, and it's something that people can, nephews and nieces and grandchildren can take a look at. And it also helps bring people together. Maybe when you put it up, somebody sees, oh, I served with that person, or I know about that person, and they'll reach out and make contact, and that's important. What we've been busy with here at Mission Roll Call is some of our nonprofit symposiums. Let me tell you a little bit about that and share that with you. Our symposiums are meant to bring together nonprofits from a geographical area to talk about unique challenges, shared mission. And it's been unbelievably successful, because in many cases, we just had one up in Pennsylvania. We have one coming up in Virginia. And we'll show those dates, or you can go to the QR code and see that. These symposiums are unique because what we do is we bring people together. We start off with talking about them, talking about the individual nonprofits, many of them working in the Veterans Service space, VSOs, some of them not, and just sharing with them sharing with each other some of the challenges they have, some of the unique opportunities they have, what they're seeing in their communities, and then sharing that amongst each other. It's amazing. And I think it's very therapeutic for the leaders of the veteran support organizations, because it shows to them there is a collective challenge in some of these issues. And that if they work together and share best practices, they can actually do a lot more work in a positive way. And so the energy by doing these has just been fantastic. We also get a chance then to talk to them and get a feeling from them of what's going on in their communities, sense that, share that, bake that in to our surveys so that we can share that among other folks. And we can also share that with decision makers at the House Veterans Affairs Committee and the Senate Veterans Affairs Committee, because they don't have a chance to see that, or they don't have the time. In some cases, maybe not the wherewithal. Regardless, that information is so important as building energy. And so we're going to do these across the country. I don't have all the dates. I'm the worst guy to remember dates. I got to write everything down. But we have Virginia coming up. And see, these guys are just so darn good. It's unbelievable. So August 28th, you can see we got Virginia. Then we got Arlington, Texas. Then we're back up in the southeast to Georgia. And then way out west in California. So these are great events. And if we can just hold on that a little bit, Nate, because, share these, screenshot this, take a photo of it, whatever, share that maybe with veteran support organizations that you know of, or people that you know of in those areas to participate, because we really do want to bring people together. We want to hear from them. We want to collaborate with them because, quite frankly, no one veteran support organization has the answers for everything, nor do they have the ability to solve all those problems. So it's only coming together that we're going to be able to really work together to really make meaningful change. And we still have a lot of big challenges when it comes to access to healthcare, of course, and getting medical attention to those that are severely wounded, and of course, bringing down the numbers of suicide and homelessness in our countries remains a vital and noble mission for every veteran support organizations, but we all attack it from different angles. And that's great because that's the only way we're going to solve these problems. So I think that's all I wanted to cover. What I would like to do is bring on my special guest, who's just a wonderful person who did a lot of great things in the Army, and have her share a little bit of her thoughts. Valerie, if you're online, maybe we can bring you about. There she is. Valerie's a very private person, so we had to bribe her to get her on here. And she's very humble, so she's not going to want to talk about this, but we're going to force her. So that's okay.
Yes. Well, hi, Jim. Thanks. And yes, just so everyone knows, this is definitely out of my comfort zone. So not just a podcast, but being completely live. Yeah. So if you see me start glitching out, stuttering, or anything else, please don't make me into a viral.
Well, we have an eject button. If at any time, you just need to eject, we'll let you go. But, Valerie, you had a very distinguished career in the military. Maybe tell a little bit about that, as much as you're comfortable with. And then I want to talk to you a little bit about, finding your purpose after the military, maybe some of the challenges you went through, maybe some of the mentorship you went through, and maybe a little bit sharing with what I wish I knew then, what I know now. Is that fair?
That's fair. All right, let's get started. All right. So yes. Hey, everybody. I'm Valerie. I'm currently the operations manager here at Mission Roll Call. I served in the Army for 22 years. Over that time, I had the privilege of living all over the world, traveling to some really cool places, traveling to some other not so cool places. But all in all, it was an amazing career. It started out, it was supposed to be just a quick 4 years. I had graduated from college, so it was just supposed to pay off my college loans. But then I quickly found out that I was actually good at it. I enjoyed it. It was fun. And there was a lot of different opportunities, and it fit well into our family at that time. So just continued to extend and re-enlist. And all of a sudden it was 22 years later.
Isn't that crazy?
Crazy. So fast. Yeah. So throughout that time, so really I enlisted in 2000. So over the last 26 years, 23 of it, I was like a dual military thing. So I've lived both the soldier life, the spouse, and now, which is completely crazy, my youngest is in the Army. So now I've added Army mom to my resume, which I think that's the hardest one to swallow right now.
I think so too. Yeah, I felt the same way. With my two daughters on active duty, I'm one in the Coast Guard and one out at Fort Bragg, and in the Army, I'm the same way. That's the toughest chapter because there's no control over it.
Yeah.
Right.
So it makes me think back to like those really nonchalant calls to my mom, like, oh yeah, I'm moving to Germany. Oh yeah, I'm getting deployed. Oh, I'm leaving to go here. And I was just kind of like, yeah, whatever, it's no big deal. And now I'm like, oh crap, I'm sorry, mom.
Yeah, that's so funny you said that. Yeah, I feel the same way, especially when you leave with the kids, that you're taking their grandkids and just going across the globe. And of course, now I am a grandfather. So I'm just like, I'm not going to let that happen. That's not possible. How could you do that to me? Yeah. So it's just a different. Tell me, when you were making the transition, what was your I guess, your biggest fear during that process? And what was something that you did have a fear about that ended up not being really a fear, I guess?
I mean, it was just the whole unknown. So as I was planning my transition, I laugh now, but I thought it made sense for me to retire at pretty much the same exact time my youngest was graduating from high school. So on paper, it made perfect sense to move him to college and become an empty nester with out of the military all at the same time. Well, in reality,
Yeah.
that was a lot.
Right.
So, people going through transition, depending on how long you've been in the military, they do equate it to kind of like the grieving process, right? Because it's a
Mm-hmm.
significant portion of your life. Um, like I said, I did 22 years. So to think back of who I was 22 years ago is completely different than who I am now. Now all of a sudden my kids are out of the house.
Yeah.
What are my hobbies? What do I like to do? Where would I want to live? Like all
Right.
these, there were so many questions and like opportunities out there that was almost overwhelming.
Yeah.
Not almost, it was overwhelming. Um, it was just too many choices, to kind of like pare it down. So then I did go through the Honor Foundation, which if anybody on here has heard of that, they have campuses all over. That was a great experience. For one, it gets you into a group of people that are also going through this process at the same time. So that you can bounce things off, because the transition process isn't just like a checklist to go through. There's
Right.
all these other things that you truly have to think of. And it's all different depending on if you're going to stay in that same location, if you have kids still, if your kids are grown, like all these different like what ifs add and go into the process. So having that cohort together that we're kind of going through it and talking to each other,
Mm-hmm.
that made it a lot better.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of simplified the process. Like, truly, what are you looking for? So for me, I realized it was more of a quality of life thing. Yes, I wanted to continue working, but I needed something that was going to fit into this new lifestyle. So that I was kind of hybrid, truly retired, right? Like I worked for these 22 years. Like, okay, I still want to have the flexibility of going to visit the kids now that are out of the house and all over the place. I want to find some hobbies and enjoy life and
Yeah.
travel to places that are actually cool. So just kind of like going through and prioritizing what would work best for me was important. Um,
And when you were going through that, how important was, I think all of us joined the service, whatever branch your service, for any length of time, because we wanted purpose. We wanted to be part of something that had an impact that was bigger than ourselves. And
yeah.
of course, that void goes away, or that void develops as you get out. So how did you fill that void of, yeah, I want to have quality of life, but I want purpose. So how did that come into the equation, and what were like some of the steps you took to make sure that um, that need was filled?
Yeah. So originally I took a contract position. It made sense transitioning out of my last job into this other one. I was like, oh yeah, this is a perfect fit. Um, I will like what I'm doing. I quickly found out that that wasn't gonna like that move and some of those other things weren't gonna make the most sense. And it wasn't scratching that itch of service. Like I truly didn't care anymore. It just seemed like the more of the same things as what I was dealing with when I was still active duty. Um so then through the Honor Foundation, I had connected with another, which was more of a corporate job, right? And that was great. I had a small team. We all worked really well together. I liked the actual tasks and responsibilities that I had. But again, it truly didn't care about the actual mission of that company, right? Like, and please don't take that wrong way, but it just didn't like serve that. So then as I was looking through, I was actually looking through LinkedIn at some of those different jobs. I was like, there's just got to be something else out there, right? And I found a job position because I had never thought about nonprofits. Sadly, I was thinking that it was more just like volunteer work and stuff.
I think I don't think you're the only person. I think a lot of people in the military, they're perfect for the nonprofit because they're built into serving others, but they think like you thought, and that is that, oh, it's, you go volunteer in a couple hours a week and but then you find out, no, there's a whole career around that. So talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah. So then I got connected. It was actually to Ray, like, everybody knows somebody that knew somebody, right? So as I found this one, I reached out to one of my friends who then connected me. And so then I just started having the conversation with Ray about what you guys were starting with Mission Roll Call. And I was like, you know what? That's exactly what I was looking for when that other job description popped up, right? So it's all of those nerdy business, tasks and responsibilities and stuff, the chief of staff type roles, those type of things that I enjoy doing as a job, but actually with a purpose. Like now I'm impacted, like I do have an impact, right? Because that's what I think I had found in the military, is that as I was doing, especially in my last position, like as I was doing stuff, I could see the impact and the results, how I was helping the rest of the team. So coming over here, it truly felt that I can see the impact on either the veterans, the family members, or these nonprofits. So you've brought up like the symposiums. Those are amazing. If anybody is interested, please go to those links that Jim was showing, because they're really good. You get out there and you meet these other organizations, bring them together. Sometimes we had one here in North Carolina, and there was organizations truly down the street from each other that had never met. So just pulling everybody in to the room together. And it's like, I don't know, it gives me like this sense of I'm helping people, another organization, actual people. And so that.
And it's interesting because I think almost everybody who had a career in the military or spent some time in the military at any level, when you leave, you kind of lose that sense of purpose, right? Because there is a loss of structure, right? I mean, if the military is known for anything, it's structure, right? You know where you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to wear, what you're supposed to be doing, what your job is, what the person left and right's job is, hopefully 2 levels up, 1 level down, and all of that. And when you leave the military, you leave that structure. You also lose that camaraderie, that deep camaraderie that you have with people that are in your organization, that are in your branch or in your field. And that just evaporates pretty quickly. And then, of course, I think the other thing you miss is exactly what you're talking about, and that is that clear mission. What is it? How am I contributing to the greater good? How am I so important in this organization, and this organization is so important to society? And that's why I think when you do make a transition, you lose all of those things, and that's losing your purpose, which isn't good, right? Because when you lose your purpose, you really are, you're in the middle of the woods without a compass. You don't know which way to go. There's panic that sets in. There's no clear direction. There's no team around to say, go this way. And all of those things are happening at once. And you could see why people then have some serious depression and issues and separation. So, in my mind, there's a few ways, and I'd love to get you to comment on these. There's some common ways, I think, as folks, we can address this and help others that are going through it. One is you need to find something like a nonprofit like you did that's going to help use your talents that you you had in the service and bring them to bear for something that's going to make you continue to want to do that and work hard and make the organization better. Some folks, it's because they were high energy and they love working in small teams. Man, being a volunteer EMT or getting involved with fire departments and police departments and all of those are perfect, right? Because it's got the energy and the stress, the good stress, and you're working with teams and they'd love to have you. And of course, I think the other area, so that's one. The other area to me is just being a mentor, either helping other veterans make the transition like you did through this organization, or getting involved with local youth, baseball teams, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, any number of things in churches and sports leagues and stuff like that. Because, man, I think all of us estimate in the military the leadership skills that we do bring and the patience we have with taking a group of people that are starting over here, way over here, and moving them way over here through a lot of effort, right?
Yeah.
And that's important. So I'll pause there for a minute to get your thoughts on that.
I mean, yeah, we all need to have some type of community, and it's just figuring out what you want to do, whether it's joining, a local running club, a gym, so that you're someplace and that's what motivates you to like work out and meet people. Or they keep throwing up the QR code to our VCN, which is the Veteran Connection Network. So that was one of our ways to try to help people throughout the US, right? So organizations can go on there, create their profile and upload all of their events that they have along with volunteer opportunities. And then individuals create an account, they can go on there and find the volunteer opportunities, find family events or whatever. And it's just a simple way of going and trying to meet people, but you already kind of have a known thing, right? So the organizations that are on there, the majority of them are veteran organizations or they have some affiliation to a veteran. So that kind of already gives you like more of a comfort when you're walking into an empty space or to a new place. So that's one of the things. What was the other?
Yeah, I think that's so important. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I probably would have gotten some hate mail from the team members like, hey, why didn't you tell us about our VCN? What's the matter with you?
I mean, we could also talk about the VRD, the Veteran Resource Directory, which is another, there you go. There's the QR code for that. So that's one of the other initiatives that we've been pushing hard. And it's twofold. Again, the organizations are on there. We're at a little over 100. I want to say it's like 125 organizations right now across the US. So I think people have heard this before, but there's over 40,000 veteran service organizations in the US. So if somebody's in a state of crisis, they need something that can be completely overwhelming to try to find a resource to help you, which several of us on the team were in that position. We're like, hey, this is craziness. How do we help? So we created our Veteran Resource Directory and we've reached out. So everybody that's listed there, somebody on our team has actually talked to and met somebody at these organizations. Right. So we know when somebody reaches out to them, they're going to get a response back. And they're going to be helpful. And if they don't know, they're going to connect you to somebody else. Right. So it's kind of two-part. The organizations are out there trying to help reach more veterans, letting them know that, hey, we're here for you. And then it's still a place that the veterans and their family members can go and try to find the resources and the help that they need.
Yeah. Yeah. And the great thing is they're all vetted, right? These organizations, to your point, we've talked to them, we've met with them. And I think it's just a wonderful opportunity when you think about the scope of veteran support organizations across the country. You can find one that on there that you're either going to want to be involved with by donating to them, by volunteering with them. And I think that's a great way to connect with other people. And it does, and all of them have purpose right?
Right.
All of them have a great purpose.
Right.
So if you feel like if you feel like you're disconnected and you're not reaching your full potential, all you need to do is, and it might not be the right one the first time. You might have to go to a few to find the right one, but that's fine, right?
And some of these organizations aren't just for when you're having an issue, right? For times of crisis. Some of them are like great opportunities for fishing, camping, like all these other like fun things to do. Yeah, so check it out. If you have an organization, please reach out. It'll probably be me or Jason that respond to you and try to get you onto the resource directory. And then we keep like that relationship going. So those are the organizations when we go to a state, we're looking through and we're reaching out to them to come to these symposiums. And if somebody reaches out to us, we're connecting the veterans that reach out to us for help to these organizations. When the content creators and the team need to write an article about something specific or a veteran, like we'll connect them to one of the organizations from the VRD to say, hey, do you know a person? Like, who have you helped? Like, how can we keep this all going? So it really does become a relationship between all those organizations and us, which is, that's the part I love.
Yeah, I do too. And I feel like as with life, sometimes the vast majority of decisions are just decisions. They're not right decisions or wrong decisions. They're just decisions. So any one of those veteran organizations will be a good decision. And I think in every stage of your life, there's probably different organizations that fit better into your lifestyle, into the time you have available, into your resources that you have, and your interest. I mean, some people want to get involved with physical fitness things. Some want to get in disaster relief. Some want to get involved with mentorship and coaching. All of those things are there. You just have to find which one you want. But I think finding your purpose and feeding that need is very important. Don't underestimate that is important to you, because I've never met a service member that wasn't proud of serving and had a purpose at the time. And maybe they can't articulate it perfectly of what that purpose was, but you could see by how they're talking about it and the pride they have that they know they had an important purpose and they were part of something bigger. And that doesn't go away, nor should it go away when you're working in a company or an organization. So if you're working in an organization that doesn't fit that, that's fine. Not every organization has a great purpose. But I think you as an individual probably still need that purpose. And here's a whole bunch of organizations you get involved with. And that's important. So I appreciate you sharing what you've done. I think a lot of people can relate to that, Val. I think a lot of people, when you first get out of the service, you take a position in an organization and it's not the right fit sometimes, because you just want to be able to get a position and you want to start a new job and a new chapter. And then you get there and you realize you're missing something. And so it's natural to move on and look at other things.
Which is great. In the military, though, you don't yes, you PCS, yes, you can apply for some, but it's not normal to just be like, after a few months, this isn't a good fit for me. I found something else, right? Like, that's not normal. No. So that was another thing and transitioning. Like I said, I took that first contract job, and then after a couple months, I was like, this isn't a good fit. This isn't, for right now, this isn't a good fit for me. And so having that conversation, I was like, wow, I can do that. I can leave that and completely pivot to something else. And then when that wasn't a good fit either, find something else. And, and then I'm like, gosh, am I jumping around too much too soon? And then I did some, Chat GPT and that Google, is this normal? And it really is. I don't remember the
cool.
stat now, but it's a significant amount of people change jobs at least 3 times in their first year after the military. For one, we can. And like just trying to find what is going to be a good fit so that you're happy. It fits into your life, like new lifestyle that you want to create. But somebody, oh, sorry.
No, please finish your thought.
I was just going to go through. I saw a question from Kim earlier in the thing. She wanted to know what was more difficult, being a soldier or being the spouse. Being the person at home, I thought was always the hardest, right? So while you're deployed to your TDY or all that stuff, you still have your set mission, what you're going to do, your team, all those things. But being home with the spouse gone, so now you're covering down on additional tasks and all those things. Like, to me, that was always way harder.
Yeah. No doubt about that. And if you think about it, we've had a military that's been very busy for decades. So there's been many military spouses that had to do so many multiple jobs over so many multiple years. Then they had kids and pets and financial strains and all of that in between. You could see why we need a number of veteran support organizations to now fill those gaps. As time goes on. So
definitely. And then huge shout out to, the military kids. So when my last PCS was to Fort Bragg, I'd been in 13 years. The boys were going into, or they were in 4th and 6th grade, and that was their 5th and 6th schools. And they were complete champs. So much so that, like, over the next few years, like, I constantly would have parents come up to me and be like, I just want to tell you, your boy, he came up and like befriended my child. Like, they were always like really inclusive to the other kids that they saw, were going to be the new kids that year that moved in throughout this stuff. So,
that's a traumatic experience, depending on the child, right? Your 2 boys are completely different. My 3 daughters are completely different. And they handle things completely from a different perspective. But I know anytime we moved, it was a traumatic experience for them, even when they were little people. It seems like a little problem to them, but to you, but it's a huge problem to them. So I think everybody that has moved multiple times in the military, and you did many times, and I did many times, it does bring you closer together as a family, or it doesn't, right? It's one or the other. But I still think that purpose, even for dependents and children, to know that the reason we're doing this is because of X, a higher purpose, serving your country, doing X, Y, or Z, is a compounding factor. It is a glue that keeps it together, because it is for something more important. And I think the more we have purpose in our life, the more we can endure, right? And the more you can brush off some of the challenges, knowing that you are part of something bigger. And so that's why I think, as we're talking about this, as you make a transition, or as you're in that chapter in life where you're looking to do new things, and that purpose is so important. And we're here to help with that. I mean, that's one of the things we wanted to do with our website, was to have it as a hub for veterans and their families to go to find out the latest news that affects the veterans community, to share stories that would resonate with veterans and their families, and say, oh, I can empathize with that. I want to get involved with that. A resource directory, a way to get involved and volunteer, and a way to introduce veteran support organizations to the millions of people that go through our website throughout the year and help them make the right connections. So all of that is so important, and that's what we're here for. So, any closing thoughts from you, Val, that you would like to share with somebody that maybe right now is going, yeah, I think I have a job, but I really don't feel like I have a real purpose right now. That's a tough one.
It is. That is a tough one. And this is where I start studying. No, I'm just joking. Just try to figure out what motivates you, what your interests are, what's going to make you feel fulfilled, so that when it's Sunday night and you're thinking about work on Monday morning, are you excited? Because that's what you should be. You should be excited to go to your next job, to your job, and make an impact on whatever that is. So is it teaching somebody, motivating somebody? Like what is going to, make you happy? Yeah.
That's great. That's perfect. It looks, and I want everybody to know, I don't give these questions to Val beforehand, so she has no idea what we're asking. So you did a wonderful job with that, because that was a fastball. So I appreciate how well you did that. So thanks, Val. Thanks for your service. Thank you for sharing your family with your son now being in the military and your spouse retired from the military. You've been serving your country. You add up all those years, all those people. That's a lot of service. So thank you.
It really is. And all transitions are completely different. So like you just said, Sean just retired,
right?
The end of March. His process has been completely different. And then as he's going along, all of a sudden I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Shoot, you do have to do that. Like truly, just this morning, he was scheduling a flight and he was like, my TSA isn't there anymore. I'm like, oh yeah, you got to apply for that now.
Oh, so he's in some line right now suffering.
Yeah, so
taking off his belt and shoes for no apparent reason.
Right. It's all those little simple things that truly aren't in a checklist, and you just got to keep.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. There's a
lot.
Why
did you tell me? I'm like, I forgot. I mean,
right.
This was 4 years ago. But for everyone listening, my first day retired was September 1st. I traveled on September 4th, and my TSA pre-check was gone. Like that quick.
Wow.
So
yeah, it's amazing how the government can move fast on things like that, but on other things you're like, what?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Well, thank you, Val, so much for sharing that. I know this is not your comfort zone, but I thought you did great, and we're going to bring you back more often. So wonderful.
I failed. I was supposed to do that thing where you completely screw up the first time, so you never.
Yeah, you did. You did. You failed and failing miserably. So you should have messed up. Exactly. Well, thanks so much. And thanks to all of you for joining us today. We enjoy having these and hosting these and hearing from you and sharing from you what we've heard, and then talking about it in this kind of a forum. No other organization is silly enough to do these live. We are. And the reason we do that is it brings energy, and we're very transparent, and we think it's important for us to be honest and open with these discussions and sharing them with all of you. We enjoy it very much, and we think it makes a big difference. So just to recap, we'd love you to go to our website, go through some of those stories, share your stories with us. Go ahead and take that survey. It's important for your voice to be heard. If your voice isn't heard, then we're not able to really bring that to bear, to really make the changes that not only veterans now need, but what some of our children who are in the service and their children are going to need. So it's important for elected officials and those folks sometimes that get a little bit separated from reality, know what's happening with some of the decisions and some of the bills they're maybe not passing or passing, so that they understand the feedback on that. So it's important to hear from you. And then lastly, reach out to a fellow veteran, reach out to a fellow person you may have served with, or somebody you know that would benefit from some of these town halls, or maybe from a article that we have, or a veteran support organization that you think would resonate with them. Veterans issues only get solved by veterans. There's no other organization, higher organization, that's going to do that. We own this. And so we have to take care of one another. So thank you so much. Look forward to our next town hall.